There's a fire. How many of you here know about fire safety? Who here can tell me about the different classes of fire? And what does it take to make a campfire? Hi, my name is Scott Roark, and today I want to talk to you about fires. A little bit about myself. I've been around fires pretty much my whole life. My father was a firefighter for the city of Houston for the past 36 years of his life, where I spent many days and weeks at the firehouse learning about fire safety with him and his crew. I was in the Boy Scouts for 10 years where I learned how to make fires, and we would practice this skill at least twice a month when we would go on camps. And I've been in the Navy for 13 years, which is where I learned about the different classes of fire. And with that, we'll start there. According to the International Fire Service Training Association, or IFSTA for short, there are 6 different types or classes of fires. You have a Class A fire, which is about wood, paper, and textiles. You have Class B, which is over flammable liquids such as gasoline, diesel, and motor oil. You also have Class C, which is flammable gases such as hydrogen or oxygen. Class D is metals, magnesium, and E is electrical, so anything electrical burning is electrical fire. And finally, Class F, which is over cooking greases such as what you'd find in a deep fat fryer. So now that we've just talked about the different classes of fires, let's talk about how to make a campfire. A fire needs 3 things to burn, or for it to be present. It needs to have O2, fuel, and heat. Without one of them, you will not have a fire. It's a very delicate mixture. If you have too much of one, you still will not have a fire. So there's a really good balance you have to come up with. To start out, you need to have a good sized log. Then you want to gather some other smaller sizes of wood of various sizes. You start out with small stuff considered tinder, approximately the size of a toothpick. You want to lean them up against your log, preferably downwind so not to blow your fire out. Then you move on to bigger stuff known as your kindling, about the size of pencils and markers. You again put that on top of your tinder, and you just keep going from there until you get all your wood is stacked properly. Then you want to take a match, light it, and start lighting your tinder on fire first. Where there's smoke, there's fire. If you see that you have too much smoke, give it a little air. Blow on it, and you should see flames and very little smoke. It's also important that if you are having trouble with making a fire, to check your wood. Maybe your wood is too wet or too green, in which case you would have problems starting a fire. Now that we've just talked about how to make a fire, let's talk about fire safety. There is an appropriate fire extinguisher for every different class of fire. You don't want to use the wrong extinguisher to put out the wrong kind of fire. For example, you're not going to want to use an extinguisher filled with water on electrical or grease fire because it'll just make it worse or shock you and kill you. So you have to find other ways of putting out the fire. There are sand, dirt, flour if you're in the kitchen, and baking soda as well can be used to put out a grease fire. You want to make sure and test your smoke detectors at least once a month. And also, while you're going and doing that, it's good to do a family drill on your emergency plan to exit the house in the event of a fire. Make sure you stay low to avoid smoke inhalation, and exit the house and go to your designated meetup spot for your family. And if you ever catch on fire, remember the 3 simple things: stop, drop, and roll. So we've just covered the different classes of fires. We've covered how to make a campfire, and we've just talked about fire safety. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Thank you for your time. And again, use fire smartly.